January 2nd, 2024, board meeting of the Blue Earth County Board of Commissioners. If we could stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next thing on the list is the agenda. Bob?
Mr. Chair, there are no changes to the agenda today.
I'll move the agenda.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed the same. All right, the first thing is to appoint a chair and vice chair for 2024.
I'll move that we make the chair Kevin and the vice chair Kim.
I'll second it.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? That there'd be a lot of discussion on this.
Yeah, the fight.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed the same. Congratulations, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Looking forward to it. Next on the agenda, item number 2 is the board committee assignments. Bob, any comments on that?
Well, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, we have reviewed the list of the committees. I don't know if the board members have any additional adjustments or if staff have anything to add.
Any questions on the board committee assignments?
I would make a motion to have the committee assignments as listed on the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second. Discussion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor of approving the committee assignments, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. They are approved. Next is the board meeting calendar. Bob, please, item number 3.
Well, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, again, we have reviewed this list of potential dates in work sessions, and so we're bringing it forward here today for consideration. Obviously, if something comes up during the year, we can adjust as we go, but this would be the planned schedule.
I'll move the agenda, or the calendar.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and second. Any discussion? Are we ready to vote on our 2024 board calendar? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. The calendar is approved. Next item is to ask for a motion to recess for the Economic Development Authority annual meeting.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
got a motion and a second to recess. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor of recess, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. We're in recess. We'll move to the Economic Development Authority annual meeting. Call that to order, and the first thing we've got to do is, and I should mind my manners, Mr. Chair of this committee. Technically, you're still chair, Commissioner Truenberg. Would you like to call the meeting to order, or?
You know, I would like to transfer that back to you.
Okay. So our first item before the agenda review is a motion to appoint the 2024 officers that you see on the agenda before you, same as chair, vice chair, secretary, treasurer, and executive director.
I would move the list of officers.
Okay, we've got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Those officers will be appointed for the 2024 calendar year. The next item is the agenda review. Bob, please.
Mr. Chair, there are no changes to the agenda today.
I'll move the agenda.
Got a motion and a second. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The agenda is approved. First item on the agenda is the minutes of December 19th, 2023. We've seen those in their packets. What are your wishes?
I'll move approval. I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Discussion on the minutes. Any changes or amendments? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor of approving the December 19th minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The minutes are approved. Next item is the capital improvement project bids. Bob, I'll ask you to introduce that and then have our folks come forward.
Well, Mr. Chair, we have staff from the city of Mankato who administer our EDA program and our housing programs, and so I'll turn it over to the staff.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. I wanted just to introduce you to Luke, and he is our maintenance supervisor, and he will be presenting the bids this morning.
Good morning, Luke.
Good morning,
Thank you,
Mr.
Luke.
Chair.
Would you give us your full name and title for the record, please?
Lucas Peterson, City of Mankato Facilities Supervisor.
Very good.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I'm here to present the resolution to accept bids for the 302 Lincoln Street renovation project in Mapleton, Minnesota. As you all know, on October 27th, we received one non-conforming bid that we were directed to throw out and re-bid the project. On December 21st, we received 3 conforming bids on the project, and APX Construction Group of Mankato was low bidder. At this time, staff is asking and recommending the board to accept APX's bid.
I would move approval.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Discussion on the motion to accept the resolution accepting the bid improvement.
They'll
Any
do a great-
discussion?
Nope, they'll do a good job for us.
Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. Motion is carried. That concludes our approved agenda. Motion to adjourn. Vance, thank you. Is there a second?
Thank you.
Second. Second?
Second.
Okay, are we ready to vote? All those in favor of adjournment say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The meeting is adjourned. Commissioner Schoenberger, would
I
you
would
like me
again
to?
like to transfer it back over to you, Chair.
Okay, I will call the annual meeting of the Blue Earth County Railroad Authority to order. And the first thing, like the last, is a motion to approve the 2024 officer slate.
I would move the slate.
Second.
Get a motion and a second. Discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. Those officers will serve as the 2024 Office of the Railroad Authority. The next thing we have is the agenda review. Bob, please.
Mr. Chair, no changes to the agenda here.
Okay, motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Questions on the agenda? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The agenda is approved. The next item on the agenda is the minutes from the annual meeting dated January 3rd, 2023. What are your wishes?
Move to approve.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve. Is there a
Second.
second? There's a second. Discussion? Any changes to the minutes? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The minutes are approved. That concludes our Blue Earth County Railroad Authority annual meeting. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion and a second.
Second.
Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, we are adjourned. This time I'd like to call back to order the Blue Earth County Board meeting. And the next item, item number 5, is drainage. Ask drainage staff to come forward.
Morning, Craig.
Bob, is there anything you'd like to talk about on this?
No, Mr. Chair, we'll let staff introduce the issue.
All right. Craig, please, with the memo, and go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay. On our first action item here, the County Ditch 12 contract acceptance hearing. The Blue Earth County Ditch 12 is in Mankato Township. The Blue Earth County Drainage Authority ordered a system repair on January 24th, 2024. The project was awarded to Bornicke Construction, Inc. The purpose, the Property and Environmental Resources Department staff received an engineer's acceptance report for this repair. All contractual work has been completed by the contractor. Today, we are requesting the Drainage Authority set a public hearing date of January 23rd, 2024 for the acceptance hearing for the petition repair work for portions of County Ditch 12.
Move to set the public hearing for January 23rd, 2024.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. Discussion. Any questions? Are we ready to vote on the motion to set January 23rd as the petition repair acceptance hearing? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's carried. Next item, please, Craig.
Yeah, second item is a County Ditch 89 contract acceptance hearing. The background, Blue Earth County Ditch 89 is in Pleasant Mound and Shelby Townships. The Blue Earth County Drainage Authority ordered a system repair on November 21st, 2021. The project was awarded to Barnaky Construction, Inc. Purpose, the Property and Environmental Resources Department staff received the engineer's acceptance report for this repair. All contractual work has been completed by the contractor. Today, we request the Drainage Authority set a public hearing date of January 23rd, 2024 for the acceptance hearing for the petitioned improvement work for portions of County Ditch 89.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation. What are your wishes?
I'll move approval.
We've got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Are we ready to vote on the January 23rd petition improvement acceptance hearing for CD 89? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you,
Thank you.
Craig, for that. Item number 6
Thanks, Craig.
on our agenda is Public Works. I ask Ryan to come forward, our county engineer.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Ryan.
All right, got a handful of action items today and then a little bit of discussion or updates on project updates. The first action item for consideration is an intent to cost participate agreement with the City of Eagle Lake for the pedestrian connectivity project along Casat 27 and 211th Street. This is for construction of a trail facility along Casat 27 as well as some sidewalk to complete missing links to the subdivision that's located on my bearing southeast corner of the City of Eagle Lake. The city did apply for a Transportation Alternatives Grant, which is federally funded, and was successful in obtaining TA money to pay for approximately 80% of the project cost. And as part of that, the county will be required to be the project sponsor and actually facilitate that construction contract and oversee this expenditure of those federal funds. Included in the agreement is Exhibit A, that is a breakdown of the project development and design costs, which, as you'll see, is $0 for the county. Per our policy, the cities are required to pay for project development for trail projects that they are leading the initiative on. And then we also included, just for informational purposes, an estimated construction cost breakdown. And the county's share of this will be relatively low with the federal dollars that are at play. Effectively, what we do is we apply any external funds toward the project costs, and then we break down the remainder 50-50 for the construction costs. The city does pay that project engineering and administration costs. So relatively low cost for the county. I will add, though, the bottom line does include, assuming that the city will be successful and the county will be successful in obtaining a DNR grant. If the DNR grant is unsuccessful, the project will cost us about $45,000, which is still very, very minimal. So it's a good project and excited to finally see it getting done. I know the city's been clamoring for it for years, so I would recommend approval of the intent to cost participate agreement with the City of Eagle Lake.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion or clarifying questions?
It's like a great project.
Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion is approved to participate with the City of Eagle Lake on this pedestrian connection project. Item 2, please, Ryan.
All right, item 2 is included in the board packet is consideration of a cooperative construction agreement with the city of Mankato for the reconstruction of CASA 82, which is Victory Drive in the city of Mankato. This is for the southern project that extends from south of Hoffman Road to south of Main Street in 2024. This agreement does cover the southern and the northern projects. And again, as you may recall, constructing the south segment in 24, the north segment in 25. This is set up so that we don't have to bring two agreements forward, that we have both projects covered under this. I apologize in advance. When looking through my materials and preparing this morning again, I realized that the preliminary Schedule I that details the cost breakdown for the projects was not included in the PDF document that I submitted for the board packet. So I wanted to bring that in today and make sure that that was approved as part of this agreement. That was sent to the city and should be included in their packet. However, I just failed to append that to the PDF after I take it out of the Word document. And you'll see in the preliminary Schedule I, the agreement is consistent with several of our past agreements with the city of Mankato, where we participate in the project cost based on the city effectively paying for half of the signal systems and half of the trails along the project. And so you'll see their cost share for the southern project, which is labeled as Project A, is anticipated to be about $707,000 because it does also include some city utility replacement at certain crossings. Our project cost share for Project A is estimated to be $2.673 million, and for Project B, our cost share is about $2.78 million, with the city being about $350,000. And then total of the two projects for the remnant of Victory Drive to be reconstructed for the county will be about $5.46 million and $1.055 million for the city of Mankato. I would be happy to answer any other questions. Otherwise, I would recommend approval of this cooperative construction agreement with the city of Mankato.
Move to approve.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Discussion on the motion. Any other questions?
We've had a lot of discussion over this over the last year, so it's not that, not that we're just gonna skim right through this, because we've talked about this many times and how much disruption and what it's gonna cause the two commissioners that
Share the road.
share that road.
Yes. Yes.
We're certainly, we might be getting the same kind of calls that the county commissioners get, or the rural commissioners get this next year, 2 years. So, but it's an important project. When you see the cost of it, you understand how come, we needed that 0.5% sales tax, and we need to get the funding issues taken care of. But very, very good project to get going and hopefully get through in the 2 summers so it doesn't disrupt the schools.
That's our plan. We'll try.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any other discussion on the motion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion is carried. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. The next action item is consideration of a resolution approving the Blue Earth County Americans with Disabilities Act Transition Plan 2023 update. The ADA update plan was previously completed 5 years ago and was due for renewal. The Mankato Area Planning Organization partner agencies are required to comply with this section of the ADA Act, specifically as it applies to public service agencies. And as we had done before, Blue Earth County elected to hire the consultant firm that was selected by the MAPO to include all of Blue Earth County's pedestrian facilities in our transition plan. So included in the board packet and recommended for adoption is parts 1 and part 6 of the Mankato Area Planning Organization and Blue Earth County ADA transition plan. So this is effectively the front end introductory segment of the document, and then Blue Earth County's specific ADA transition plan with the inventory of our facilities. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. If you have no questions, I would recommend approval of the resolution and Americans with Disabilities Act transition plan.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion? Appreciate that. Anything else on this? Are we ready to vote?
Yep.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion is carried. The long-range transportation plan is approved. Item 5, please, Ryan.
Yes, Commissioner, thank you. And that was the Americans with Disabilities Act. This resolution is for the Blue Earth County Long Range Transportation Plan approval and adoption. The resolution is supporting the document that we've reviewed quite a bit. I can certainly print copies if any of the commissioners would like a nice paperweight or
We got
to read
electronic
before bed.
bits.
Yes, this was posted electronically. I believe there's a link that'll take
Yep.
you directly to the
Yep.
county website. In lieu of printing a bunch of these, we'll obviously use the paper copies, but I wanted to just bring this just for the sheer volume of the work that this generated. This has been a long project and I think a very fruitful project in the end. Very helpful for county staff, and we've reviewed components of this document before, obviously the projects that have been developed and the systems associated with that, as well as a review of the county policies amongst and practices. And Commissioner Papp, I know you had asked in the past about ensuring that those have been vetted by our PER and county attorney's office. I did share those and did not receive commentary back with any concerns. So those have been vetted with other county departments. So with that being said, I did include a resolution documenting the purpose and the development of the plan, as well as a recommendation that the Blue Earth County Board of Commissioners hereby approve the long-range transportation plan update dated December 2023.
Move to approve.
Got a motion and is there a second? And a second, discussion, and thank you, Brian, for the clarification. The last motion was the ADA transition. This is transportation, so I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The transportation plan is approved.
Thank you. And last but not least for action items is a memorandum to the county board. Minnesota State Statute 297A.993 authorizes individual counties to enact revenue sources to specifically finance transportation projects. Blue Earth County has assessed a 0.5% local option sales tax for transportation projects since April 1st, 2016. If the project list is amended for continuation of the tax, those funds will continue to be used to improve the existing county road system as well as expand infrastructure. The statute requires a public hearing to be held prior to any board action on a resolution to authorize a local option sales tax. I recommend setting a public hearing for the Tuesday, February 6, 2024 at the 9 a.m. County Board of Commissioners meeting in the boardroom, second floor, Blue Earth County Historic Courthouse, 204 South 5th Street, Mankato.
So moved?
Second.
Got a motion and a second, discussion? Discussion, are we ready to vote on setting the hearing for Tuesday, February 6th at 9 a.m.? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried.
All right.
Information items, please.
Yes, thank you. Project updates, County Stated Highway 13 reconstruction project is moving along. Obviously, the earthwork crews had ceased to work during the winter. The bridge crew is still making significant progress. The west bridge abutment, the piling were driven, the reinforcing steel was tied, and the abutment has been poured. So now it's curing out, and we've had reasonable temperatures to do that with some insulating blankets. Crews are now driving piling at the center pier and should begin pouring the lower base of the pier this week. So it's good to see work continuing to progress through the winter as we had anticipated. You know, there's always the fear that Mother Nature doesn't cooperate with you, but we thought there was a pretty marginal amount of risk to take to further that project and to try to minimize the impacts on the back end of that. So we're happy with how things have been progressing. County Stated Highway 11, which is a 2024 project, plans were submitted to MnDOT late last week for approval, and we're anticipating that we'll be bidding that in February for March award. So that should be an advantageous time frame to be bidding. Kasai 82 from south of Hoffman Road to Fair Street, the project we just approved the cooperative agreement for. We anticipate receiving final plans from Stonebrook in mid-January, which would probably put us bidding that project in March. At a recent District 7 engineers meeting, we were, several MnDOT leadership folks were there at our meeting and discussing the local road improvement program, and they received a onslaught of projects, so it's gonna take them some time to work through, and I should have brought that with. But they received a significant amount of project applications, I think near 400 project applications. So they're gonna be working through those projects. I think we've still got a moderate chance of success in our application. We've got a very good project. We had applied for $1.5 million for the Victory Drive Project A, or the Southern Project. So we won't find out about that, unfortunately, until likely early April. And so with that being said, we can't award the project prior to the grants being announced. So what I think we'd like to do is we'll bid the project early to try to get advantageous bid prices as early as we can, and we'll put a clause in there that we may wait up to 60 days to award the contract until we determine if we were successful in receiving the LRIP application. So that's where we're at with that. So the project can still be bid and move forward. We're just, we can't announce awarding it until after that announcement has been made.
Are contractors, you know, are you gonna get as good of a bid by doing that? Because I would think a contractor not knowing if they're gonna get it.
I think if we explain within the bid document of why we're doing that, they'll understand there's minimal risk.
Okay.
You know, we can specify, just as I kind of discussed today, of why we're doing this.
So
Not that the project's at risk per se.
We're gonna build it no matter what, but we're hoping to get this grant.
Correct.
To save the taxpayers' money.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions on the project updates? Maintenance activity?
Yes, so our crews have been taking advantage of the unseasonably warm weather. Blading gravel roads, we know with this recent rainfall was very helpful for us, because obviously with the dry conditions, I know we've talked about this with a couple of the rural commissioners, but if we blade roads when they're too dry and don't have adequate moisture, they don't heal back together. They don't, the gravel doesn't really set back up, and then we almost create more of a safety problem. But we know the roads were getting really rough, so receiving that rainfall over the last couple of weeks, we have been out getting the roads fixed up and returned to smooth condition, cutting trees down to improve right-of-way sight line improvements, tile and intake repairs. I mean, it's pretty uncommon to be now January 2nd and be able to still be excavating and doing tile repair projects. So we're trying to get as much of that done as possible so that we can get ahead of things.
So
Yes.
you've kind of answered the question that I've been asked, is we're saving money not doing snow plowing, and we're having all this available time. The question was, what kinds of things is the county doing now that they've got that time, when
Yep.
typically they never have that time to do it?
Correct. Yep.
So that
And
goes-
we've always got kind of a laundry list of projects that need to be done, and it's just, can you fit them into that fall window is usually when we're doing those. So we've got an extended fall window, and we're kind of getting our honey-do list a little more than we normally are able to, so. Yeah, we're starting a larger culvert replacement project on County Road 188 this upcoming week. Actually, that's a 30-inch culvert, which is, as I said, you know, we would never think we'd be replacing a culvert in January unless something failed miserably and we were doing an emergency type of project. And then we've also been working out at Wildwood County Park. There's been on the south, kind of, if you come in on the access road, and then there's the parking lot, would be kind of on the southeast corner of the park. There's an agricultural field just north of that access road and east of the park. We use that field, we have actually an access easement through that field to get to the northern segments of the park that are separated by the river. That corner bend of the river at that junction has been highly erosive, and we've seen quite a bit of the bank being washed away. So we've been working with the adjacent landowner, who we have the easement through the field, to try to come up with a repair. Unfortunately, what I think we're observing is that there's quite a bit of seepage coming out of that hillside. And so we actually had Dirt Merchant Incorporated, Kevin Depew, come out and look at it with us, and had anticipated using his long reach excavator. I think based on the conditions out there, we thought maybe first and foremost, so that we had adequate conditions to work in, we're gonna put in a very large and deep tile to pick up that seepage and dry conditions out, because right now it's just kind of gooey and it's unstable, and it's gonna be a kind of a nightmare project if we get into it without curing it out a little bit first. So we're gonna put the tile in first, make that expenditure, and then we'll reassess those conditions. We do have a permit for the work in the riverbank to reestablish the channel of the river and riprap armor that outside bend of the river. So, and that is good for a few years. So again, we want to get that tile in and see how that performs, and hopefully that cures some things up so we can actually get down in there and minimize the disruption that we do by armoring that bank. So, challenges we have all around the county like that, but this one is obviously right at a park and more critical because of the access issues. We've also been working on stockpiling materials for summer projects, backsloping projects this month. Fair amount of shoulder reclaiming through the month of December, and also some guardrail repairs and replacements. And then one of the things is, as we've turned over the caretaker at Bray Park, Rick is no longer going to be working as the caretaker there, so we're soliciting for a new caretaker. The crews have been in, you know, that's been many years, I think, since that home has had a good deep cleaning, and they're doing some repainting and recarpeting, things of that nature to make that residence ready for the next caretaker. So that's what our crews have been working on. And then last but not least, Rapidan Dam. Not a tremendous amount of update for the county board on the dam. It was included in the packet. Really just submitting our baseline documents and making sure that we had that EAP update submitted in time. And not in the in the memorandum, but we did just receive word last week that the FERC had issued a notice on the historic nature of the dam, that they're starting to work on it finally. They had issued a notice, and I haven't even been able to get to it to print it out yet. I think I saw it when I was on. Need to pull up the document, but they issued a notice to other federal agencies of our intent to abandon the license. So I'll share more detail with that on my next update. So it's good to see something finally happening now after, you know, almost 7 or 8 months. So.
Any questions?
No questions for Ryan.
County engineer. All right,
Thank you,
for your
Commissioners.
time.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you very much.
Next on our agenda is item number 7, administration. I ask our administrator to give us his report. Bob, please.
Mr. Chair, the first item is the county board minutes for December 19th.
I'll move approval.
We've got a motion for approving the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The minutes are approved of December 14th, or I'm sorry, of December 19th. Next are the bills, please.
I move the bills.
Second.
Got a motion and second to approve the bills for the weeks of December 14th through 20th, as well as December 21st through 27th. Any discussion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Carried.
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, item number 11 in your packet is the Human Resources Department agenda. I just have informational items for the board today, starting with the promotion of a eligibility specialist to a supervisor of our financial assistance area in human services, and so we have initiated recruitment to backfill that eligibility specialist. Then we had a resignation of a social worker in our behavioral health area, so we've initiated recruitment to refill that case manager position. And we also had a promotion of a child foster care and child care licensor to a human service supervisor over our child and family services unit and human services, and so we've initiated recruitment to backfill that social worker position. We then have filled 3 different children's mental health case managers in our children's mental health area of human services. These are new positions that the county board had authorized for the 2024 budget. Then we also filled a license center specialist, a part-time position in our license center, and so down at the bottom of that first page, item K then indicates a revision of a start date of an employee in our Property and Environmental Resources Department. Item L is a resignation of a correctional officer, and so we've initiated recruitment to refill that position. We also have filled a correctional officer in our jail. And then we did receive a resignation of a correctional officer in the jail, so we've initiated recruitment to refill that position. And then lastly, we had an increase of hours for a bailiff that was part-time, increasing that position to full-time, and that again was approval as part of our 2024 budget. So I'd be happy to answer any questions on any of those items if the board has any.
Questions?
I don't have any.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Chair and Commissioners, item number 12 in your packet then is a memo regarding crop damage payment schedule for 2024. Each year at this organizational meeting, the county board is asked to set a crop damage payment schedule. You'll see the yields and prices per bushel indicated in the memo, and so we have asked our extension staff to review this information. So we got some feedback from them, and also have reviewed some other sources and are bringing forward for the board's consideration these yield and price data for consideration. I will also point out that if we notice a very dramatic change in price per bushel or yield potential, we obviously can come back at a later point, but at this point, this is what our recommendation will be.
Okay, you've heard the recommendation. What are your wishes?
I'll move approval.
We've got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
And a second. Discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion's carried. Next, please, Bob.
Item number 13 in the packet then are the bids for publishing different tax and board information, and so we have gone out and received bids. We did receive 2 bids for the majority of the items listed here, but we'll walk through each one individually and ask the board to take action on each one. So starting with the delinquent tax list, we're recommending the Maple River Messenger with a low bid of $5.65 per column inch.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Are we ready to vote on the delinquent tax list? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. Number 1 is approved for Maple River.
Next are the Board of Commissioner and Board of Equalization summaries. Again, here, the Maple River Messenger at $5.65 per column inch is recommended.
Move to approve.
We've got a motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Carried. The Board of Commissioner and Equalization summaries is approved.
The third item is the legal notices for 2024. Here we're recommending the Mankato Free Press at $12 per column inch.
You've heard the recommendation. What are your wishes?
Move approval.
We've got a motion and a second.
Second.
Discussion.
Why is, why are we approving one that's obviously twice as much as the Maple River Manager?
It's really the coverage area and visibility. When it's legal notices, we want as broad a distribution as we can get.
Other questions? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Carried. The legal notices are approved.
The fourth one is the layout of the annual financial statement. Here we just had one bid from the Mankato Free Press at $226.40.
Move to approve.
And a motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. The annual financial statement layout is approved.
Next is the printing of the annual financial statement. Here again, one bid at $60 per thousand from the Mankato Free Press.
Move approval.
We've got a motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried for the printing of the annual financial statement.
Then the last item is the insertion rate for the annual financial statement. Here, the county board does need to select two separate papers, and so both the Mankato Free Press and Maple River Messenger are recommended.
Move to approve.
A motion and a second, discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Carried. We've got the annual financial statement, insertion rate approved for both of those. Next item, Bob.
Well, Mr. Chair, item number 14 in your packet is a memo or a resolution regarding setting of the annual bounty for the destruction of gophers. We are recommending no change in the payment for those bounty for either pocket gophers or 13-line ground squirrels, so the rate would remain at $1 each.
You heard the recommendation.
I'll move approval.
We've got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Pretty controversial.
Well, we haven't raised it for a long time.
No, but I will add, though, that my number of grandkids has doubled since I've been commissioner, so I'm twice as interested in this as before. I just can't get a gopher to dig on our ditches. I think we need to, must have too many badgers, I think, that are getting the gophers.
gophers.
So, but I mean, most townships, I wouldn't say all, but I know most townships end up with their bounty as well, and sometimes the townships don't pass it on to us, which certainly they can, but many don't, so.
I have a feeling it's a pretty minor part of their budget.
I
Yep.
probably am remiss for not noting that we did pay out $87 in 2023.
We did.
Paid out that last year.
And thank you, Bob, for knowing that off the top of your head.
Yeah.
One of the few things I prepare for these meetings.
All right, any other clarifying questions on the motion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. Next item.
Item number 15 in the packet then is a memo regarding the small cities revolving loan and ditch balance loan interest rates. Each year at this organizational meeting, we ask the county board to set the interest rate under our policy around the small cities loan program. The rate is set at 0.5% below the prime rate, as long as the prime is between 4 and 8%. And so currently the prime rate sits at 8.5%, so we would go to that maximum of 8% for both the small city loans and the ditch balance loans.
And can we do that in one motion?
Yes, that'd be fine.
Okay.
I'll move approval. Second.
We've got a motion and a second. Discussion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. Our interest rate has been set for the year. Next item, please.
Item number 16 in the packet then is a memo regarding the Violent Crime Enforcement Grant Agreement. This is a grant agreement that provides funding for our regional drug task force, and so the amount is $390,000 covering a 2-year period starting January 1st of 24 through the end of 2025. Staff are recommending approval of this grant agreement.
Move to approve.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second. Discussion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried. The grant agreement is approved.
Well, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, item number 17 in your packet is a memo regarding county canvassing board appointments. Election law does require that 2 county commissioners be appointed to the county canvassing board. This is obviously an important role as a part of our elections, and so we look to 2 commissioners that are not on the ballot to fill that canvassing board appointment. We also have others that are appointed to the canvassing board, including the county auditor as the county's election official, The district court administrator is a member, and the mayor of the city of Mankato is as well. And so staff are recommending the board appoint Commissioner Papp and Commissioner O'Connor to the county canvassing board effective through the end of 2024.
I'll move approval.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second, discussion? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion passes, that is approved.
Then item number 18 in your packet is another elections-related memo, and this addresses absentee and Uokava ballot boards establishment. Again, Minnesota election law does direct the governing board of each county to establish an absentee ballot board. This board will look at absentee ballots as well as those absentee ballots through the Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act. And so this resolution would allow our chief election official, basically Mike Stahlberger, to appoint staff to do the ballot boards.
Move approval.
We've got a motion
Second.
and a second, discussion. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Motion carried, that is approved. Anything else?
That's all I had, Mr. Chair.
All right, we'll move to item number 8 on the agenda, Commissioners' reports on committees. Patty, would you go first, please?
Certainly. December 19th, I went down to the GMG for Jess Byers' send-off. And on the 20th, the County Ambassador Program graduation. And December 21st, I had my first TDS board meeting and the Rural Action Caucus. That's my report.
Thank you. Vance, please.
I could just say ditto. Except that I didn't go to Jess Byers. I went to the County Ambassador Program graduation, which is always exciting to see our employees get involved. I had my last TDS board meeting and the Rural Action Caucus Zoom meeting in the afternoon. That's it.
Thank you. Kip?
I had a very light schedule also, and I was at the program for the graduation, which thank you to Jesse and Stephanie for putting that together and doing it. I thought the feedback was great. Sit and hear Bob walk through that and get the feedback from the county employees, because it is a very time-consuming project for those staff, and I appreciate their time. And then just some phone calls and planning and zoning issues that are coming up. That's my report.
Thank you. Mark, please.
As Altman said, it was a good county ambassador program. I was at that. And then, of course, Jessie Byer, yes, with her leaving Greater Mankato Grove.
Thank you. Since the December 19th board meeting, I too was at the ambassador graduation and want to thank not only our staff that put it together, but also our staff that participated. It's a commitment on their time, and appreciated hearing from them directly. I think any time that we can have people in one department better understand the rest of the departments and one of the other things the counties does is a benefit to our county as a whole. So again, thank you to everyone that participated. Also on the 20th, the AMC stakeholders of the drainage work group held an update call, and I participated on the December 21st NACO RAC call as well. That concludes our commissioner reports on committee and our agenda. At this point, I entertain a motion to recess.
So moved.
A motion to recess.
Second.
Is there a second? Second. Are we ready to vote? All those in favor of recess, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. We are recessed.
You did it.